It is the Riot. Thanks again to Chris, who stopped by and is working through the technical issues. Bye, Chris.
We are back now completely with Obi in the studio for this podcast.
Sure am.
Yay!
Whee!
Yay!
Yay!
I didn't know if you wanted more cheering.
Well, no. I was. I thought when you were cheering, I thought that was like a secret code to let the people come out for
your
the
party?
Return party.
No. Let's just keep. It's going to be a real surprise when your party happens. Real surprise.
I was geared up for it right there, so that's why
if you thought that was
I
time,
held back just a little bit.
No, this is just the podcast intro.
Yeah,
it's purely just that.
So I am back. The podcast starts with me ranting about not having COVID-19, so you can enjoy that. We talk Canadian Thanksgiving, Amazon Prime Day, hot dogs in an air fryer.
Hey, that's life-changing, all right?
Yeah.
And before you scoff at it.
Seriously. And, it's not in the podcast, but I was telling Chris and Nikki off air, I built a new computer.
You did?
I built it in a new case.
So you bought a new case for it, but everything else was the same?
Well, I was facing down 14 days in the basement.
If you would have had COVID, yes.
And I was like, you know what? I argued with myself forever. I was like, this is so stupid. You don't need a new case. Like, so what? And I'm like, yeah, but this runs hot, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, screw it. I'm just doing it. I like it. I want it. I'm doing it.
And you bought it?
I did. I had it delivered, and it's nice.
And you rebuilt it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was actually fun. I watched Big Trouble in Little China and reassembled my computer.
Oh, my gosh. No, you were just a happy camper.
And there, as I was shivering from fever, put it all together, and boy, what a great time we all had.
You had a good time.
Me and all my vision people that were visiting.
I don't know if you had that big of a fever. But
Einstein was very impressed with my cable management.
If you start seeing other people, you know you have a big fever.
Yeah. So that's mostly it for the podcast. Hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Very glad to be back. And I'm not like all better, but I don't have a fever and I don't have COVID. Hooray for me.
Everybody always wonders. They're like, anytime anybody's sick, and you're like, nope, there's still other sicknesses.
Yep. So, very glad to be back. So you guys enjoy the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot. On RadioU.
You're right in front of me.
Back in the studio.
Yay.
Who'd have thunk it?
You're back.
Can we not do that again?
Anytime you don't want to.
I have been thinking about, this is my second ride through the COVID system.
Sure.
So second time I've had a COVID test. Second time, et cetera, et cetera. I'm thinking about just finding some people that have COVID. I'm going to have them all spit in a cup. I'm going to put it in a smoothie.
Sure.
And I'm just going to get it over with.
Well, you had negative both times.
I know.
So that's why it's a concern.
I know that's why people are like, don't say that. Listen, I get it. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I know whatever. I also know that twice now I've gone and had them jam the thing up my nose. And I don't want to do it. Well, I guess I'm saying if I'm going to do third time, better be a freaking charm.
You don't want to have that again.
No,
I know.
But then again, COVID itself is no fun.
I know, and you want to be safe, so it's appreciated that you would do that.
It's great. So I went. I'm fine. I really do think I have some kind of a sinus thing, but
he really is sick, but it's hard. Like we were saying, it's hard if you have something else that's not COVID.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks you have COVID and they won't treat you if you don't have COVID.
My doctor's office was like, wait, you're sick? You can't come here.
It's like, where are you supposed to go?
Wait, what?
I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Seriously, like, you have a fever? Oh, no, you're not coming in.
They actually said they can't see you. Like, well, that's not, I thought, how we were supposed to do this.
So you do the remote doctor visit, and then, again, it's like, if you don't have COVID, they don't care. They're just like, you don't have COVID, you'll live, okay? Whatever.
All the while, you just want to figure out what you have.
So I still don't know. But you know what? My fever's gone. In fact, when I came in the building, I took my temperature at home for consistency with my own thermometer.
Sure.
And then I took it with the RadioU thermometer. The RadioU thermometer says that I'm at a whopping 95.3 this morning.
You're good.
So
you're chilly, but you're good.
Technically, I don't have a fever, and I'm fine to be here.
You know, I don't understand you with this thermometer because I have one at home, and mine is consistent at home and the one here.
Yeah.
So why does this thermometer not like you?
I don't know.
Because it always marks you way colder than you really are.
I don't know.
Just how it is.
I don't know. Maybe.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Great to be here.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, I cannot believe. I mean, I can because I was out yesterday, but do you know what yesterday was?
Yesterday was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Canadian Thanksgiving wasn't over the weekend?
It was Monday.
Really?
They have it on the second Monday in October.
I know it's like, it's earlier than ours. We're familiar with that, but I guess I saw a lot of people celebrating. I must have a few Canadian friends.
I do have some
Facebook.
Canadian friends, but apparently they weren't, taking pictures.
Well,
they weren't
Canada
making it happen.
Was also going through its own, depending on the province and stuff, everybody has different rules, but they were saying how they're still trying to limit people gathering and getting together. So that would include their Canadian Thanksgiving.
You can get together, but you can't give thanks.
No, it's reverse. You can give thanks, but you shouldn't get together.
Well, my thought was if you get together and you all stand 6 feet apart, but you don't talk because talk transmits.
We're not supposed to eat because then the spit and stuff too. So I saw some people celebrating smallly, just in a small way.
Boy, that's a great question. What does that look like this year with the whole...
Oh, with our Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm supposed to go celebrate with family in Oregon. So as long as the comet doesn't get me first.
Well, you wanted that third test. You wanted something.
It's coming, baby.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's coming. So it was yesterday, and they gave thanks for being Canadian.
Yay!
So here's one of the Google suggestions. Why is Canadian Thanksgiving so late this year? Mm-hmm. It's always the second Monday in October. And the reason they have it earlier, according to globalnews.canada,
then our Thanksgiving would be?
Is that Thanksgiving is supposed to be traditionally towards the end of harvest season. And the further north you go, the earlier in the year harvest season is.
There you go. You're learning something.
Yeah. And with the exception of, Christmas, they pretty much do everything earlier in Canada.
Their Boxing Day would be the
26th.
Yeah, so the day after Christmas, but I don't know their other holidays.
Well, I was just thinking about Canadian Super Bowl, whatever they call it. That's in November or something. Yeah.
Isn't it the ice something, or it's got another name too?
I don't know. Something. The last time I looked at it, Shania Twain played the halftime.
We used to have a lot of Canadian bands that we used to play. Not so much anymore, but back in the day, all of our bands would kind of disappear for a while, and it was always around Canadian Thanksgiving. They would always go home.
Yeah, they would. So, you know what? I hope... If you're Canadian, you had something really good to eat. And if you didn't, I feel like today we could call it American Canadian Thanksgiving ketchup. And so you could grab yourself something really yummy.
And just enjoy the day.
And that would be your excuse.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I want to say hi to Andrew. Andrew texted this morning. He says, hey, it's Andrew. I'm a podcast listener from Mississippi.
Very nice.
He says, I was listening to the podcast from yesterday, and Obadiah, the answer to your Lord of the Rings 4K quandary is clear. Now, to bring you up to speed, they are releasing The Lord of the Rings in 4K December 1st, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. The Hobbit on 4K also on December 1st. And then next year, a massive... Blu-ray box set, 4K, everything.
Of all of it.
Yes. And so that's what he's talking about. And he says, buy the set this year and next year, get the big set.
Well, Obi's concern, or maybe our concern for Obi, was that he was talking about he still has the Blu-rays of all of them.
Yes, I do.
And some are open, some are closed.
I just want you to know I went and checked. I did open them.
Oh, they're all open?
I had opened them,
Maybe
yes.
not watched, but at least opened.
Yes.
And the concern of, you still want a 4K version of the movie, but yet you still have all these other discs.
Andrew says, don't worry. It's completely normal still having the shrink wrap on your Blu-rays.
There's nothing wrong with that, I guess.
Thank you, Andrew.
So you and Andrew seem alike. You don't mind, and you're probably going to get both of them.
Andy says, hey, Obi, welcome back. Thank you, Andy. Glad to be here. And, well, there I am.
Yay.
Woo! Getting real excited.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
You know, yesterday was Canadian Thanksgiving Day, Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. And, it's like we were having a hard time really agreeing on what we were supposed to be celebrating yesterday. But I'll tell you what, we got no problem agreeing today because, Nikki, today is the day that we can all celebrate Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Wait, no. Come on, Nikki. Amazon Prime. It's an American tradition since 2016.
2-3 years, something like that.
At least.
How long has it been going on?
So who cares about Canada when we can have American Thanksgiving for sales?
Who's ready to check out with some items?
You know what? I've been going through just kind of looking at the stuff. I mean, it's interesting that it's caused a real wave of sales because basically every online retailer today is having some kind of a sale on something.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be just Amazon, but because they're doing their Amazon Day today, then you were mentioning how like Best Buy and a few other places are also doing almost pre-Black Friday sort of sales.
That's what
now.
Best Buy is actually calling theirs. Mm-hmm. They're calling it a pre-Black Friday sale. I haven't looked to see what Walmart's calling theirs or Target. Target's, I looked at their website and I love theirs. They're like, shop here with no yearly fee. And I was like, oh, sick burn on the Amazon.
Well, yeah, but what are they offering?
I don't know. Like, it's, you know what? It's just stuff. Like, do you want to, okay, for Amazon, I will say, if you care about getting any of their branded electronics, like you want to put their surveillance devices right there in your place, they're offering a discount on ways for them to watch you watch things.
Oh, wonderful.
Isn't that great?
I think if you really want something that's Amazon, then they're going to push a good price to you. Right. Otherwise, it's really hard to remember what you want. You know, like if you're not actually wanting to buy a gift or a present or something, it's just hard to remember like that, I'll take some new coffee or something like that.
Nikki, what about an apron?
I'm good.
I have an apron. I cook with an apron.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I got a Darth Vader one. And
of course you do.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, it's fine.
There's an option there.
How about a SanDisk 128 gig Nintendo Switch micro SD card?
No, but who bought one a few weeks ago because I needed a new one and I just couldn't wait.
Should have waited for Prime Day, Nikki.
I feel like they just put this so, like, at least this year. I mean, it used to be more in the early summertime that they would have this. Mm-hmm. But, you know, they had to postpone it. But I just feel like we buy everything already. So it's hard to find something you actually want from this.
What about this Camco sewer hose support?
Well, I don't have that. Do I need that?
I don't know. I will tell you this.
I need that.
I can get you a deal on it right now.
You could.
It's on a lightning deal.
Ooh.
That means you got to act fast.
I don't know. I guess we'll just peruse some of the items today. We'll see. If anybody finds anything fun, let us know. Like, that's a really good deal. If not, don't go to Amazon to find out about the good deals. Go to a deal site and have someone else. I'm sure they've already combed through everything. Sort through it all, and then you could see.
It's true.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on RadioU.
Listen, one of the greatest single casualties of what's going on in the world right now with COVID and the election and I don't know, whatever, is the roller dog.
Is that the biggest casualty?
I'll tell you right now, the Circle K gas station, it's not exactly... It's kind of on my way home. It's not on my way home, but you could make a little detour
And
to
it
make
wouldn't be
it
too
on
far
the
out of the way.
Yes. If you go there, I'm telling you right now, they have got a roller dog that is worth the trip.
Is it worth the risk?
You combine that with the fact that they now sell a 44-ounce Polar Pop for 99 cents.
That's a meal.
What it is? They have a meal deal. You can do two hot dogs, a soda, and a bag of their chips.
I don't know.
Not Doritos. It's Circle K branded chips.
I don't know. That to us, the roller dog was always like a roll of the dice. It was a risk for the gas station hot dog. But, man, you loved it. You still love it.
Hey, don't act like I'm the only one.
I've never had a roller dog.
I'm not talking about you.
Oh, is Eric? Eric's had a roller dog, too. Is it everyone's hidden shame?
Well, I don't know. I just know that that's one of the places that Eric and I's friendship has not been good for each other, is that when I discovered that he also liked gas station soda and roller dogs, it suddenly became okay.
We love the same things.
What? It's
and
fine.
a bag of chips? That's so inexpensive.
I don't have anything to be ashamed of now. I've got friends. It's fine.
If your friend's doing the same thing, then you suddenly don't feel any guilt about the gas station hot dog.
It's fine. No big deal.
But some gas stations for a while there did not have them. And I don't know if all of them have it back, but
I'll tell you that either they're selling out, which is a real possibility.
Or they're in the back rolling away.
But I can tell you when I was there the other day, no roller dogs.
It's just not something with COVID that they're doing yet.
So that's why this article from Lifehacker is so important. Nikki just sent it to me, and it says right here.
How you can have a gas station roller dog experience at home.
You put your hot dog in your air fryer.
Did you ever think to do that?
No.
Do you ever make hot dogs at home or?
Yes, sometimes. Okay. I mean, not often. Funny enough that you bring it up, I actually had brats last night.
Oh, did you?
I made them on my George Foreman grill. This is true, and it really is a Foreman grill.
You could have put it in the air fryer.
I could have.
And you should have let it sit out for like all day. You want to have a real experience.
Nikki, no.
But just roll them every so often.
Not every gas station's like that. You got to find one where the clerk really cares about their job.
If you find that, stick with that.
Really wants to be there for you and give you great service.
Well, this gives that blistering of the skin that you might like from a gas station hot dog. So they're saying all you do is just stick in the air fryer and cook it that way.
I'm doing this.
In about 5 minutes is all you need.
I'm doing this. It's happening.
So it's an air fryer. It's a plump hot dog is what it'll do.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, let me know how it is.
On how it goes. But that is 100% happening.
Giving it a try.
Nikki, you've got an air fryer, right?
I do, yeah.
You don't have to wait for me. You can do it yourself at home.
I can't, and I've gotten back into hot dogs, but what I do is I do that chili, cheese, and onion thing. So we have that.
I like both parts of that. I'm back into hot dogs.
Yeah, every so often. Only if I can do the chili, sort of hot dog chili. It's not normal chili. It's hot dog chili.
Well, yeah, it's disgusting.
There's a difference. What?
You heard it.
Aw, fine.
Onions, what are you doing?
I'm just piling them on.
I'd rather go to the gas station.
No, because you're happy to go there.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Okay, so spent a lot of time alone over the last couple days, and I've been bored. Do you remember? Did you do this in elementary school where you planted a bean sprout or whatever? So you get the little styrofoam cup, which is great for the earth, and then you.
Can you not pull apart everything?
Then you
were a kid when you got that. It's fine.
It's just funny. We're going to teach you how to take care of the earth. Here is the styrofoam cup.
Well, the planting of the tree cancels out the styrofoam.
That's right. So then you get the dirt, and then you put the little seed in it.
Yeah, I think
and
everybody
then you pack
does
it down,
that.
and then you put water on it, and then you're like, any day now.
And then if you were lucky, your school district, you got a sunflower and a bean plant. So you got 2 beans.
I don't think I got that. I think I just got the bean.
Some you get more than that.
And you're just you just wait and wait. And you're like, man, what the heck? You know what? This is all a crock. It's not real.
Is it a lie?
None of it's real. But do you know that is exactly what it is like when you start a relationship with God? You start this relationship with God and you plant a seed, and you might look at your life that day. Like, let's say last Tuesday, you were listening to the Riot and you started a relationship with Jesus, and here it is a week later, and you're staring at that stupid cup, and there ain't nothing coming out of it. There's not even a seed in there. It's a lie. Here's the thing. Some things take time. But I want you to know that even if above the surface you can't see it, under the surface something's growing. Like, things are happening. And one day you're going to forget about it and you're going to look over and be like, what the heck?
Something grew.
Something's in there. It's happening. Though I will tell you, unlike, say, that bean plant, what's been planted inside you is like a mighty oak. It's a big tree. It's something that is big enough that the time will come when other people will come and get shade under the thing that's planted in you. But I want you to know that in this relationship that you have with God, it might start small. You might think, well, I thought I was going to get a pony or whatever it is in your life. But know that God is at work, that Jesus loves you. And if you don't have a relationship with him, man, would you be willing to plant the tiniest seed in your life? Would you be willing to let Jesus come in and make some real changes in you? In a friendship, man, I'm not trying to sell you a used car here. I'm just talking about a friendship with God. Just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want you to come in, and I want to see something different from the inside out. Man, you start there, and things will change.
Are people really still listening to the Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
I have been perusing Amazon Prime Day, Target Day, Walmart Day. I got nothing.
It's shopping day.
All I wanted to do was buy a cheap movie today, and the only thing I'm seeing is Best Buy has got some of their steel books on sale. But if you're somebody like me that watches those things, they always put those steel books on sale because nobody buys them.
So it's not exactly like that's a real deal today.
Like, I mean, it is. They are technically a little cheaper than they normally would be, but
if you waited a little longer, it can go lower.
They're practically giving them away. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, basically today every major site's having a sale. So,
yeah. Well, I think a lot of it for me, it just comes down to I either want movies or games, and all of the movies and game releases this year have been pushed into November and December. For example, holy crap, Nikki! Yesterday, Digital Foundry, my favorite YouTube channel, they
outside of our own,
obviously. I mean,
that comes first,
right? But they had a first look at Dirt 5, which is a new game coming to. It's the first Xbox One X game that basically they've been allowed to show footage of. And I'll say I don't know if other sites did that yesterday or it was just them, but I got a chance to get a look at that. I've never been a fan of those games, whatever, but it's a racing rally type game. Dude.
Does it look good?
It looks so cool.
Uh-oh.
It was completely off my radar, but yesterday I watched it, and I'll tell you what else I did. I bought Dirt 4 yesterday.
Did you? No.
It was $3.
Oh, no, never mind. You're fine.
Don't
get too worried.
Don't get too concerned about me, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to check that out. But it's a new developer. It's a new thing. It looks so cool.
So Dirt 5?
Yeah, so it is a... now, here's the thing. The other Dirt games, even 4 to a certain extent, those are for real people. People that are like, I want the authentic drift experience or like whatever. I don't want the authentic experience. I want that feeling you have when you play a video game that makes you think you'd be really good at it in real life, but in reality, you suck. But you're good at the game. That's what I'm looking for. The fun escapism of, look at me, Mom, I'm a professional race car driver. And it looks like it might deliver on that.
So they're saying how it kind of pushes the limit, and you're able to see some of why the new Xbox will be impressive.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, it has all this...
for its frame rates.
The frame rates, because it's got a 120 hertz mode. If you don't know what it is, you don't even care. And then it also, they're talking about the terrain degradation. Like, as you're running through the track, it remembers all the different places that you've dug in, and like, it looks neat. That to me, I haven't been super interested in a ton of stuff that's coming out this fall, but that one really caught my attention because what I have discovered is I really like racing games.
I know you do.
I love Forza Horizon. Like, those are some of my favorites, and this is a more serious
Look
game,
at that.
But it looked pretty cool.
So when is the Dirt 5 out then?
Like November 12th.
November 12th.
Everything else. Because that's when the Xbox and the PlayStation hit.
But will Dirt 5 play on your Xbox?
It'll play on my PC.
Your PC, okay, because you don't have an Xbox right now, do you?
I have an Xbox One X.
That one, okay.
And I'll let it go cheap. Just call me.
This is not what we're doing right now. I kid, but I'm serious if anybody wants it.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I'm telling you guys, Nikki is hilarious, but her best stuff just comes out just as
just naturally.
A side comment.
Is that it?
In the studio, we were talking about the election, and we've got Donald Trump, who I'm just going to tell you, I think the president is still sick, but he's like, nah,
bro.
Nah.
We're fine.
And then you've got Joe Biden, who's running for Senate/president. And I'm looking at both these guys like, this is not good.
This is what you get, though.
This is not good.
This is it.
And Nikki's response to that is, I'm going to go get some toilet paper.
Well, no, I said what's going to happen around before the election. I'm going to fill up with gas.
Fill up with gas.
You have to have a full tank.
Yep.
I'm going to go back and get toilet paper because we're not doing that again. And I'm going to have enough food for a few weeks just in case anything happens.
Just in case.
Just in case. What's the harm in that?
No
and
big
that's
deal.
the plan for election.
Worst thing that happens is you've got extra food and toilet paper.
That's it. I'll get some freezer items and some canned goods. So that's what we should start. Just every couple of weeks, just throw a few extra items in the cart.
Extra.
Yeah, just something.
Just, whatever.
I'm not running low, so I want to make sure we're okay.
Couple extra guns, some ammo.
Yeah, if that's your thing, then yeah, you want to make sure you have something just in case.
Infrared goggles, like night vision kind of stuff.
The normal stuff.
Just,
one gets when one goes to the store.
Who knows what's going to happen? I'm telling you, man, I'm afraid to come in the Wednesday after the election because
And we come in early too.
I'm going to have to say something about the election. What do you think I'm going to say? Like what? What could I say?
All you do is just read the results. That's all you have to worry about.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a blank one. Here's Wolves at the Gate.
It's also hard because everybody expects, like, one side expects you to say one thing, the other side expects you to say the other thing, and you can't make anybody happy.
No, it's interesting. It is. And I've already voted. I'm done.
Yeah, you are.
I absentee voted. So that means, I didn't even count. It's probably in a shredder somewhere right now.
It didn't even make it there.
That's right.
It's just thrown away.
They were down at the post office. They were just like, here's another one. Just chucked it, probably.
Oh, boy.
But it's fine.
Don't fuel that fire.
I did by sending my ballot.
By sending your ballot so they can burn it.
I quite literally added fuel to that fire.
Oh, hands raised if you're looking forward to Thanksgiving week. It should all be blown over by then, right? Let's just say that if your person doesn't win,
it'll all be blown up by then.
We're just going to have to get over things, and we're just going to have to move forward in unity.
That's right.
And enjoy Thanksgiving at home by yourself with your Zooming, your Zoom Thanksgiving.
And your jar of very large peanut butter.
Yeah, in case you haven't set up Zoom for your parents. This way you can do this, and it's going to go really well.
And you know what? It's a lot of fun to roast marshmallows over the burning ash of civilization. You just...
Nothing like a good s'mores, right?
Sure.
Which you're buying ahead of time.
Sure, I'm glad we bought these s'mores so we'd be ready.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki is driving the content of today's show.
I think I might buy these. They look pretty fun.
What are they?
They're built to last, is what they say.
AKA, you know what that means? They won't break down in the landfill. Thanks, Nikki.
No, it's stainless steel 20-ounce pint cup tumblers. So it's like a...
20-ounce
It'd be
pint
like this, but stainless steel.
Okay.
So I can have that for my drinking glass. My water drinking glass.
Don't you already have...
Those are tumblers with lids. This doesn't have a lid.
Oh, good. It's even less.
This is really just like a cup, just a stainless steel cup.
We should encourage people to bring cups without lids in this room and fill them with liquid.
I put them to the side. That way I actually knock my water over every so often. And it just knocks over to the carpet, so it's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, that carpet hadn't been clean in a long time anyway.
The part of the desk that I wiped down when I spilled that water had never been wiped down before.
Ever.
So it's actually a bonus to RadioU when I spill my water.
Let me explain to you how this is good for you.
Yeah, they look cute.
How much for 4 of these stainless steel mugs?
It's a 2-pack. I don't know. I think that's 2 then, not a 2-pack of 2. So
you're getting 2
I think
of
I'm
them.
getting 2 cups, and it's $15.
So that's $7.50 a cup.
But that's all I'd ever have to spend again.
You'll never need another cup.
Need another cup.
And I quote, those cups are built to last.
They are.
That's great.
Why do they say they're great for kids? Why? What's that packaging about? Is this for some reason?
Well,
Does a kid want this? No, because sometimes we run out of these plastic cups here at RadioU.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll just keep it here, and I can always have my cup.
we don't know who it is, but somebody here is always like, oh, no one would ever use a cup that small or that big. And they really do order children's cups.
They order them very small, and it's usually out of a material that makes drinking out of it very uncomfortable. It's like when you have a paper straw, like it just tastes weird.
It's like, yeah, have this. It's inconvenient and tiny, and you have to stand next to the sink in order to get enough.
Oh, it says rust after a few days. Oh, it doesn't have the best reviews.
But even though it's rusting, is it lasting?
Is it lasting?
Is it still
stackable? Yes. Efficiently, no. I just like to go through the reviews. Every other is a just right. Would be better if better quality. So I don't know. Never mind then.
Well, you could, but it's Prime Day. Buy something.
Yeah, I'll keep looking, but maybe I want something.
Sure, I'll find something I can buy.
I don't know about you guys, but I am a fan of a tumbler or a cup. Just something.
It's Nikki's Blu-ray.
A new water bottle, perhaps.
Oh, my gosh.
Because they need to drink more water, so a new one will do it.
You guys have no idea. Nikki's coming here. Whatever happened to your one that had wheels on it? Or it was like...
It doesn't have wheels, but it's the full day of water
it's like
in one thing.
7 a.m. Keep it up.
It's got motivational things as you go in and shows you what you're supposed to drink throughout the day, but I literally couldn't carry it. I couldn't carry it.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. RadioU.
Maybe you've heard of her, maybe you haven't. Polka Princess. She's a TikTok user with over 1.9 million followers.
Yeah, she's got a lot.
She does. She has just been forced to change her name to Digital Princess. And that's because she was, she got a little cease and desist from Nintendo.
She said she was glad they finally noticed her, even if it was in a negative way.
So she ended up, not only she had to change her name, but she was selling merch with her name that had basically Pokemon trademarked items on the actual shirts that she was selling.
So the characters were on the shirts.
Yes. And so she had to go ahead and put that back. She said, at first, a lot of people are like, oh, man, like Nintendo sucks. Like everybody's out to get her. But she came out. She's like, hey, I'm not mad at Nintendo. I'm not whatever.
Even though they said that it was a cease and desist, but I think she also had to pay some money.
She had to give back give to Nintendo all the money that she made on anything that had a Nintendo trademark on it.
That must have been a lot. Wow.
So if she had a shirt that had a Pokeball on it, she had to give Nintendo money for that. And you know what? It's a weird space because on the one hand, you're like, man, Nintendo, that sucks. But then the other side of it is...
That is Nintendo's property.
That is their property. We would all feel differently. Like if you came up with a design that you made money on and someone else started making money on it, you wouldn't like that. We feel differently when it's a corporation. But I mean, let's get real for a minute. The other thing that a lot of people are saying is that they think that the reason she was targeted out of many people is that she also runs an OnlyFans page.
Yes.
And so Nintendo doesn't like their brand in any way being associated with
what that side of thing is. Yes, probably. So it probably is a little bit of both. I think Nintendo realizes that they can make even more money off the stuff that is their property if they just go after people.
Yeah.
So you're just starting to see that they are doing that more often.
Yeah. Boy, isn't it a weird world that we live in? I mean, when you really think about it, like, hey, here's this person that I like online. I'm going to follow them. I like watching them stream. I like watching them on TikTok. And for a price, I can see them. What? Like, I thought we weren't. It is a weird world where we're concerned about consent. We're concerned about people like Jeffrey Epstein, like all those kinds of things. And then on the other side, we have the, hey, for $20, I'll send you some nudes. What?
It is something.
The world is weird, guys.
So Nintendo at least can say on their side of things that they did not want the copyright stuff, the infringement. So she had to change her name and pay them back.
Yep. And she did. And I feel like part of her, like, penance or whatever it was to get out there and say, and I'm not mad at Nintendo. They're great. That feels like that was part of the letter somewhere.
Yeah, like you almost have to. Like that's a part of the apology.
Right.
Nintendo makes them say that, but who knows?
Feels that way.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
So, Bethel High School, San Francisco, Nikki, you've been there.
Yeah. Well, San Francisco, but not Bethel High School.
You didn't stop by Bethel High School while you were in town?
Believe it or not, that was not on the list. I did not go.
I can't believe that.
Now, why would I have gone?
I have no idea. But they're in the news because 2 teachers have been suspended.
Yeah.
And it's because they okay, as a broadcaster, we understand this. They forgot to mute their mics or to make sure they were logged off.
Oh.
So the Zoom call was still active between the teachers and the students.
Did they say some stuff they were not supposed to?
They thought that the call had ended. Yes. They basically went on a 5-minute rant about how technologically illiterate their students were.
Aww.
And
they were just probably venting and blowing off some steam with it, but saying hurtful words at the same time.
And they were also really angry that they didn't know how to edit sentences, but they could add puppy ears to their Insta films.
Aww.
That's one of those things where like you could see your
see your teacher saying that.
That feels like an English teacher.
Yeah.
Just like you can put ears on your dog, but you don't know where the period goes in the sentence. Come on. I can feel that moment where your English teacher finally suffers a breakdown after all these years of being like, what are the 4 types of sentences, guys?
And if you think about how many months of remote learning, they're probably just ready to just lose it. And maybe they did.
Yeah. So
what do they get? Do you get in trouble for it?
I love this. The female teacher says older staff members will say these kids are so technologically advanced. And I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not.
That's what she was saying when they were caught.
Oh, you're impressed a kid can record a TikTok? It's one button.
Oh, yeah, they're mad. It seems like they're unhappy.
You mad, bro?
They're mad.
They are. So they've been suspended.
Suspended like with pay or? Do they get suspended and then still get their jobs? It's very hard to lose your job as a teacher.
I don't know if they've been suspended.
I'm sure it's with pay.
Well, I mean, it would be.
That'd be the only way to really learn your lesson. It's to be suspended with pay.
I'll tell you what, I have some lessons I could learn.
I know, right? You've been out of the office a couple of days being sick. This is not the time to get suspended with pay.
But I wasn't paid when I wasn't working.
Just in case you don't want to.
I want to leave and get paid.
And get paid at the same time.
That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, they're in trouble. So I feel like this is a cautionary tale to all of us today. All of us are going to have some kind of online interaction involving video chat today. It's the new world we live in. Don't say go in the other room.
Just make sure that you are aware when your mic is on and off and your camera is on and off.
Oh, yeah. Unplug them.
Worst of the riot. Radio U.
Nikki, let's talk about Genshin Impact.
Okay. How do we spell that?
Genshin. And then Impact.
So the video game?
Yes. It is a new free-to-play RPG that was developed in China, and it's been out in the United States, I think, for about 2 weeks. And in the U.S. alone, they're estimating that it has made about $100 million.
In the 2 weeks that it's been out.
Just from the United States, which they say is approximately what it probably cost to make it.
To make it, they could just make it from us alone?
Yes. So it's interesting. I've talked to a few people that are playing it, and they really like it. But the hook is, and this is where you have to be careful, it's free. And you can play it on the PC.
Yeah.
You can play it on your phone. I believe it's also on consoles, but you'll have to go dig on that.
It says PS4, iOS, Android, and Windows.
Yeah. The other thing it has, and I don't know if it's every platform, but I think it's most of them, is cross-play. And meaning this, or I guess cross-save is the term. So I can be playing this game on my PC at home, and then I go get on the bus and I can play it on my phone.
Yeah.
And they say that
you start where you left off at?
Right where you left off. And also that the phone experience is a pretty good experience. Here's the hook. And this is the part that is like, I think, dark and ugly and a little sinister, is that it's what they call a gacha game.
What do you mean?
Gacha. And so that is... And again, I might be getting this a little wrong, but I think I'm getting it right. It's not gotcha like, haha, gotcha.
Yeah.
But in Japan, apparently it was, or maybe still is, very popular. You know those little things that you go put a quarter in them and you turn around and you get a little ball and it has something in it?
Yeah, gotcha ball.
Exactly. And so in these games, you pay. You're absolutely getting something.
Yeah.
You're going to get something, but you have no idea what it is. So it's basically a loot box, but... Most people are saying, well, it's really kind of gambling.
And so the loot term in gaming in the United States falls under, because everybody wanted to put it under the gambling term.
Right.
Because technically, if you're paying
real world money,
it should not be a game of chance of what you get loot wise in a game, because that is gambling for our terms in the United States.
And their argument is this is not gambling, because you're guaranteed to get something.
But the problem is you'd be getting not like you wouldn't actually be getting a variety of choices. Like you were hoping to get this, but really most people are getting this.
Right.
So that game of chance is kind of skewed.
So you put tons and tons of money in to get that one thing that you really, really want.
So does it have to follow? Is it like TikTok where it didn't have to follow our rules because it's not in the United States?
Don't
with
know
gambling?
the answer. Haven't dug super far into it yet. Haven't even. I went to the
Looks
website
pretty.
while I was on my little COVID break, which I didn't have COVID, but they made me take a break.
You had to take a test.
Because society. And
but you're fine.
I had a couple people recommend it, and I almost downloaded it, and I looked at it, and I was like, man, no.
You want to get in this world?
I'm not doing this. I am not going to be over here pumping $5 a day into this stupid thing in hopes that I finally get what? The role that gets me the costume or the hairstyle I've really wanted.
But you can play without it, but
you can.
People pay money in it.
Yeah. So
what is it called?
It's called Genshin Impact. And again, like I keep hearing tons about it. At some point, I'm just going to have to give in.
Oh, and just try it.
And just see what it's like. I mean, it is free.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported RadioU.
So, Nikki, I will say, we're just talking about ugliness online, and I want you to know what I've done. It's not forever.
Yeah.
It's just for a little while.
What'd you do?
I deleted the Reddit app.
You did? Oh, because, can't have even a little. Just doesn't work.
You know what? First off, I began to realize I was spending a ton of time on Reddit at night.
You'd have evening Reddit time?
Yes. Every night.
Yeah.
And it was we got to a point where some nights it was stretching into like an hour.
You would just like to scroll through Reddit and all the forums.
I would. And like there were things and this and that's, but I had an opportunity to, I feel like, interact with some of the people from Reddit forums. Now, I don't know this for sure. And remember, Reddit's like, there's nothing wrong with Reddit. It's fine. Like if you want to be on Reddit, whatever. But a couple of the forums that I belong to get very serious about some things. And
they go very deep.
Yeah, and I got a chance to, I feel like, interact with some of that IRL. And I just thought, you know what? I could use a little less of this.
You're going to take a break?
I could use a Reddit break.
Couldn't you just set a timer or just 10 minutes each night?
No, I just decided it was time. Now, again, I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm not saying other people need to do that. I'm saying for me, I have tried.
For me and my iPad.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to limit my Facebook and Twitter time at night. Those no matter how much I limit them, they always creep back up. It is a constant tension to manage, like constantly. And Reddit, it was you know what? At least with Reddit, I can control the topics. So, you would subscribe to certain subreddits, but man, it's intense out there. And after a while, I've realized, one, I've gotten a little more spendy with some of my money because I found people that like the things I like and they're spending money. So why shouldn't I?
So there was no one to say no or hold on or wait.
And there was some real intensity out there and in there. And I just thought,
Hey, we support you then if you're going to take a break. Or however long it is. And even if you never go back.
Yeah. It's a shame. I really like it.
Aww.
But
you can always set up the
face screen time or whatever.
Yeah, the controls to where you can just make sure you're actually limiting the time that you can use the app.
I just decided we needed a break.
Okay.
Maybe at some point I go back and we do the limiting
Maybe
thing.
At Christmas.
Maybe at Christmas.
Maybe in December you can go back to it.
But it was time for me to take a break.
Sounds like a good idea then.
Sometimes I can't speak for everybody, for my own self. Sometimes I care too much about the opinions of people that have zero impact on my life. So I should care a little more, say, about what Nikki thinks than
the Reddit forum.
Chris Knife 8576.
Do you want me to sign up too and join the forum so then that way it still works?
Maybe that way I'll really care.
Yeah.
Because I'll
still be
Nikki
in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go through Reddit as much as I used to, but it's fun sometimes. Especially with all the election stuff coming up. Guys, come on.
No.
You have to watch all those freakouts.
I had a few subreddits that I was part of that I got rid of because of the election. Actually, that was at the beginning of COVID. I was like, well, this has got to go.
You can only handle so much, even from a forum.
had to take a break.
Aw, well, okay, good for you to realize that, and
I was like,
good for you to take the break.
I was reading my Kindle instead last night, and I was like itching for it. I'm like, man, I've read like 10 complete sentences. This is too much.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
So in addition to being like everybody is having a sale online today, but nothing is really worth buying day. You guys are familiar with Amazon Prime Day, Target whatever day.
Well,
Best
Amazon
Buy pre-Black Friday
is doing their day, and then all the other retailers joined in. So it is today that's around.
Yeah, you know what else happens today? The Oculus Quest 2 launches today. So this is the day that if you want a VR headset.
The Oculus has made. Will you rejoice and be glad in it?
Oh, virtually rejoice.
Virtually rejoice.
I'm not going to actually rejoice.
Well, I know you were interested in buying one. I just wasn't sure if today's the day or are you going to just wait and see?
I have to wonder if I hadn't spent the last week inside, if I might feel differently. But right now, the idea of buying something to help keep me inside sounds terrible.
Oh, but even though the look will feel more like you're outside in the world.
It'll be you could have fake outside, but inside.
Yeah.
I've thought about it.
But you're just waiting now?
I think we're just waiting.
Okay. What's the game you guys are playing? Squadrons or?
Yeah, see.
Everybody wants to play that in virtual reality.
That's how you end up with one. You know, the sad part is this quiet resolved me. This is actually the one that does the purchasing. Not the one, like the one who's like, I want it so bad. And then we leave the room and I'm like, I don't care. I don't want it. The one who's like, I'm not really sure. He's the guy that goes and buys stuff.
Quiet Obi is the one who would go get it.
He's the one that would pick it up and buy it. So I don't know. But it goes on sale today if you care. And, look, I see that's 2 hands that went up.
For the new Oculus.
And the tens of thousands. It's fine.
So later today is also the Apple press conference for...
Oh, but it is.
Because remember, we're going to learn about the iPhone 12 today, and they'll give details, so that's something else.
Well, you know what? If Nikki's going to get an iPhone 12, I might as well get an Oculus Quest 2.
And that's the problem we have with us being together.
Because if your sister gets something, you have to get something too.
That's right. And we should not act that way.
You're right, we shouldn't.
So you don't say if you get an Oculus, and if I order the new iPhone, no, I don't have to say anything about it. We'll just keep it a secret.
We just keep it quiet because we're super good at that. At least I am.
We're just trying to come up with ways to make this work.
I'm so good at not talking about what I'm doing or thinking.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
These days with product launches, it's basically impossible to get what you want. Because here's what happens. Bots come in and they buy everything up as soon as they go for sale online.
You cannot be faster than a bot. You just can't. You can't get it.
And then
they resell it.
They put it on eBay, and these are the people that run the bots, and they sell them to you for 3, 4, 5 times what they're worth, whatever the item is.
Not just eBay, but Amazon had a real issue with making sure that they weren't allowing bots to resell, like people who get the item in a bot way, and they were in trouble because they had plenty of resellers who were doing that same exact tactic.
Very frustrating. I wanted to buy a graphics card this year, and it absolutely didn't happen, and that was 100% because of bots.
You'll probably see that with the PlayStation, with the Xbox. You saw that with the Switch at the beginning of COVID because that was the item everybody wanted to have while they were inside, and that kept people from getting it.
So another market that really has this issue is the sneaker market. And I'm talking about, shoes. People love shoes. Like sneaker culture is a whole thing. I'm not in on it, but I'm always interested in listening to people talk about it. And I love listening to people, how enthusiastic they get about shoes they don't wear. It's fascinating to me. I don't want in, but it's interesting to see. Well, one of the places that you're seeing a lot of fraud in sales is on eBay. Is that people will take their shoes, some shoes they'll sell them and they'll be, like some sort of a knockoff or whatever. And so starting next year, not yet, but sometime next year, eBay is going to start forcing people, and this is crazy. So I put a pair of shoes on eBay.
Yeah.
You buy that pair of shoes.
Okay.
I ship those shoes to a verification center.
Oh, and then they go on to the person.
And then they go to the person. And if the person returns them, they have to return them to the verification center, who then verifies that they are, in fact, the actual shoes and sends them back. And so on each side of the transaction, third-party verification.
That's not new. If you do a lot of purse buying.
That's new to me.
If you do a lot of purse buying, that it's more expensive purses through different third-party like resellers, they'll do that same thing. You're sending it to the company's representative first. They make sure it's fine. Then it goes to the person before the transaction's complete. So it's been around, but for eBay, that's not how they did things. So this is for anything over $100 for sneakers.
Right, which I think that's all sneakers now.
I actually feel like that's a little low. I would have thought if they said like $1,000 or more or $500 or more, but I find that you could get $100 for a sneaker, and it's not a collectible one. It's just a normal one.
Well, you know what, though? I could be way off, but in just poking around, I feel like most collectible sneakers, and I know they go really high, but I feel like the $150 to $300 range. I feel like you see them sell for like $100, $150 and then resell for somewhere between 50 and 75% above their value.
So I don't know if you mentioned this part, but it's only going to be if you buy it in the United States. You have to have a U.S. address.
Okay.
And this is because eBay wants you to feel confident when buying an item from them that it is not fraudulent.
Well, and that makes sense.
That's
because
what they're doing.
I find myself often very hesitant to buy anything from eBay and more hesitant buying certain kinds of things from Amazon because a lot of times they'll say it's one thing, and when you get it, it is not that thing.
So they dropped the selling fees to kind of help with some of this, to lure in sellers to come in and start using eBay again. And they said, yes, it'll go to an assessment center to authenticate it, and then it'll have expedited shipping to go out from there to the person who bought it.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, Nikki, I've got the top 100 places in the United States to live.
Yeah.
As determined by a completely made-up list.
Let's close our eyes and think about traveling and all that fun stuff.
All right. I'm just going to give you the top 5.
Okay.
Per your request.
Well, no, like maybe let's do top 10, maybe. 5 doesn't seem like enough now.
Okay, so let's...
Out of 100, 10 sounds good.
All right, 10. Number 10, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
And these are places to live at?
Yes.
Or just to visit?
No, to live.
To live.
And so what they have done is they've actually they developed a point system with 8 categories, including amenities, economy, education, healthcare, housing, social capital, civic capital. That's only 7. What's the 8th one?
Where's it at? It's okay.
Yeah, whatever. So here is your list, which is farther down, and now I have to scroll.
So 10 was Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Talk amongst yourselves. Yes.
I don't think I've ever been to South Dakota. Not that I remember.
I definitely have never been to South Dakota. Number 9, Durham, North Carolina.
All right.
Fargo, North Dakota. I've seen the show.
Is it anything
It doesn't make it seem like a place I want to live.
Maybe they like that. Maybe they don't. It keeps people out.
Number 7, Overland Park, Kansas.
All right.
Number 6, Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice.
5, Rochester, Minnesota.
It seems like you're in one area or the other.
4, Portland, Maine.
Oh, okay. There's different.
I feel like, I'm telling you, I just feel a call to Portland, Maine.
To Maine?
To Maine. I feel like Maine is a place where I could do okay for myself.
You think so?
I don't know why. I just do.
I feel like it feels boring, even though I'm sure it's lovely and there's lots to do, but it's just normally not talked about.
Boring. It's boring for people like us. But maybe we could go and be new kinds of people.
That's true. We could bring the energy from an outside state right on into Maine.
Where we just go ahead and buy a car with a kayak mount on it. And then there's a place on the back for a bicycle.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
It's perfect. Number 3, Madison, Wisconsin.
These are places on the top 100 list to move or to live at.
Ann Arbor, Michigan. Oh, I don't think so. Sorry. Not going to be able to live in Ann Arbor, guys.
That was number 2?
I'm not going to be able to do that. Number 1, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Colorado.
They say it's the bestest.
Man, everybody, especially like out of California, everybody's moving to Colorado.
Listen to this description. Nestled in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, about an hour north of Denver, Fort Collins is home to Colorado State University, giving it a score of 72 on the education scale.
Ooh.
It does, the photos of it.
Looks beautiful.
I mean, they're just photos, but it looks a lot nicer than my neighborhood. And I don't live in a bad place.
A lot of people are moving now who do no longer have to, because of jobs, have to stay in the location where their job was based out of in the beginning. Now, for a lot of remote workers, you can just move wherever you want to.
Ooh, maybe we should do that, Nikki. Where do you want to move to?
Well, maybe I want to see the full 100 list and then judge from there. I didn't like any of the top 10 to move to.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
I think Colorado would be an awesome place to live.
I'd want to be right on the beach. And
Really? See, no, I would much rather go somewhere like the Pacific Northwest. Or I realize Colorado is not the Pacific Northwest, but that kind of
feel to it.
Yeah, I'd be game for that. Here you go, Nikki. How about this? Cincinnati, Ohio at number 42.
Yay!
Eugene, Oregon, 46.
It's down there.
I don't like it in Eugene either.
Surprised it made the list, are you?
Huntsville, Alabama, though, they're at number 1. Come on. It's good. And Nikki, I'll have you know that our hometown, metro area, number 11.
Ooh, really?
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Your tongue is kind of fat.